Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport here for the halfway stage of the season in the Pro category. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, being joined in the commentary box by Kelly Davis, who'll be with us in just a moment or two. The halfway stage here at the home of British Motorsport brings with it the chance of championship glory, or the chance of championship success tonight, and going into that back half of the season leading or being well in front, or being on the coattails of the leaders. It's been a fantastic pro season so far. Should be 33 cars in the lobby tonight. We've currently got 32, so we hope whoever is missing can get in on time. 9 minutes left of the practice session, and we can run through the championship standings at the moment, and this is going the way. It's so tight in pro at the moment, it is unbelievable. It is Kieran O'Reilly 12 points clear of both Ben Ruck and Dan Davis. 19 points behind O'Reilly is Silth, so it is a very tight championship. Smith is 31 points behind, not out it by any stretch of the imagination. Komar is in 6th, he's 67 behind, with Rosowski 73 behind, Williams only 84 behind as well, so anything can happen this evening. Diesch not here tonight, he's in P9. Hoopert's not here tonight, he's P10 in this championship so far. Then it's Carlos, Mike Matthews, Jamal Clouden, Matt Wright, Patrick Leger, Ian McGowan, Mezin, Bolton, Skunky Overtaker and Hoochhausen. And then in the gold category, a little bit of a bigger gap between the leaders, but it is going the way of Vitas at the moment. 59 clear of Harris, with Hibbs 63 behind Vitas. Cairns is 89 behind Vitas, and Langley 97 behind. Watkowiak is in P6. He is 102 points off the back. Butcher is 7th from Cardno in 8th. Class in 9th from Castro, DeCourt, Messino. Jimenez making his first start in Pro, being promoted from Pro-Am into the Pro Series after that fantastic display at Mezzano with the pace and race pace as well to go with it. Stardog is P15 from Ramsell, Smith, Gillies, and that is your running order. And then in the Constructors' Championship, it is MSA Racing, 5 clear of Team Audio Sport. And at the halfway stage, we're already looking at a 2-horse race, because MSA Autosport are 264 behind Audio Sport and a 269 behind MSA Racing. So it really looks like it's MSA Racing of O'Reilly and Silf versus Team Audio Sport of Dan and Ben. Yeah. SimPlay Racing are P4. They're only 3 points off the back of MSA Autosport. Going to struggle in the next couple of weeks, so no pack. He's had to order a new wheel, so Patrick Leger will be out of action for a couple of weeks until that is delivered for him. Momentum Motorsport P5 in that constructors fight. Great pace from Rosowski and Cairns last week. Can they bring that momentum forward to this one? The Racing Softs are 6th from the casuals. Quantum Motorsport down in 8th. Cloud9 are 9th. Not the strong season for Cloud9 at the moment. Cardno's been caught up in a few issues which put him down the order. Team DBR 10th from Schwitzer Racing. Blaze Motorsport, Utopia Motorsport, Greasy Bandits Racing, Bearded Racing, and then the Balkan Sim Hub team, which is a new team for this week. Their second driver will be with us next week, and that is, I can't remember the guy's name, but that is Overtaker now in a team of the Balkan Sim Hub for the remainder of this season. But obviously Overtaker's points that he scores do not carry over from the season prior to when that team was formed, so any points Overtaker scores tonight will go towards the team. The manufacturers, not that it really matters, McLaren look like they're going to win a 3rd straight manufacturers title, as they are 1,272 points clear of the BMW drivers, with Ferrari still mathematically in it as well, but that could all change tonight. We've got Overtaker on a qualifying ban coming up a little later on, and if I look at the driver stats page, we've got a handful of drivers. Cardno can make his 50th appearance tonight in race 1. Just looking at hundreds, nobody can do their 100th. Nobody can do their 150th. Clouden will be a bit closer to his 200th. So yeah, just Cardno on his 50th appearance for SimPlay Motorsport this afternoon. Dan can obviously take that one step closer to 100 race wins. He's on 96 at the moment, so he can get a bit closer to that. And O'Reilly is only 6 podiums off of the back of his 100th podium at SimPlay Motorsport. He can also get a little closer to that tonight. But Kelly's back with us. Good evening, yes. Kelly. How are we?
Good evening. Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, living the dream. Yourself?
Fantastic, thank you, Kelly. British Motorsport, Silverstone.
Yep.
Where the racing is, really, isn't it? It's the sort of the go-to track here in England or in the United Kingdom. And what a way to mark the halfway stage of the season.
Yes, it's the jewel in the crown as far as British Motorsport is, but not always the favourite with everybody. And we had this little discussion on Tuesday night when I stepped in with Dan in the comms box. Not a fan or a driver's favourite, but certainly the best infrastructured facility that we have, for sure.
Apparently the stream is once again really laggy, so apologies if the stream is coming across as laggy. It was doing the same thing last night.
Yeah, it looks a bit on my screen.
We'll try and get these issues sorted. Not sure what that is. I did change and play around with a few settings last night on the Streamlabs, so hopefully it gets itself a bit better. Apologies though if the stream is a little laggy. We had the same issues last night as well, so not sure why. But I have tried to change some settings overnight and see if it works going into today. So hopefully, touch wood, it is going to play ball. It sounded spot on, just the video, says Chris. Yeah, not quite sure why it is doing that. What I may have to do, what we've got left, we've got 3.5 minutes. I'll tell you what we're going to do is, let's go to the Patreon screen so we can still hear me and Kelly talking. In fact, no, we won't be able to hear me and Kelly talking, will we? Because I'll have to stop my stream and we're not in the Discord chat. Right, we'll stay with it. In fact, we'll go to a break screen. I'll restart my stream on the PlayStation, and hopefully all should be sorted from there. Back in just a moment. Okay, welcome back. Apologies for that slight delay. Hopefully everything should be now working a bit better. I think the intermission screen is lagging too. I think you should look into the screen record settings maybe. Yeah, I changed the bitrate last night, Rob, so again, not a clue what it is, but yeah, we'll have to try and get this all sorted and working. We may have to come off mid-stream to just try and get that sorted, but yeah, we'll have a look into it. We'll just have to deal with it for now. Hopefully everything should be working a bit better. Yeah, everything seems to be a little jumpy, and I'm not quite sure why. We'll get it sorted. We'll hopefully get it looking better. We do apologise, but I'll try and get it sorted in the mid-session break. It was all working fine last week. That's what's irritating me. I moved up into the new room upstairs now for the office. So
in your home studio.
Yeah, in the home studio, and it was all working fine last week, and then this week it's just not played ball. So irritating. That.
Okay,
we'll try and get it sorted.
Yeah. Yes, let's hope so. Hopefully it doesn't ruin your viewing too much at home. Well, no more than the adverts, does it? You know. Yeah. So Silverstone, by what we got left on track? Barely anybody left on track now as we come to the end of the practice session. Clouden with a bit of pace there towards the end. Matt, he tops the timesheets for free practice with a 1:57.652. Dan Davis in second place, just a smidgen behind him. Kieran O'Reilly, quarter second back. I mean, this is only practice. Let's not read too much into it. And the gold drivers looking all very evenly matched on pace. They were all very close together, the gold drivers, so through that practice session. So we line up for the grid for the first race, for the sprint race, reverse grid. And Overtaker on pole, as Matt said, in a new team this week, new team to score points for. Skunky on the front row with him. So that should be an interesting into turn one. And where have we got? Kieran O'Reilly, of course, in 15th position, got to go forward. And you can see all the lineup on your left-hand side, as I'm sure Matt is frantically pressing buttons to try and work out this lagging stuff. And dead last is Mr. Vitas, is the man right at the back. Let's see what kind of progress he can make all the way through.
Yes, indeed he is. We'll go through the grid. It's Carlos who's missing at the moment. That's why you can see the empty space on the grid near Mike Matthews. So we'll try and get that done. So Carlos will be the gap there. So everybody will put forward one where Carlos should have been. But yeah.
Would you like me to run through the grid then?
No, I'm just going to do it now, so I'll just finish sending what I needed to send. So your grid order tonight is Overtaker on pole from Skunky in second place. Bolton is third alongside Ian McGowan. Matt Wright, P5, with Jamal Clouden next to him. Mike Matthews, empty grid spot next to him, so he's got no one there. Then it's Brandon Williams and Rozalski. Komar from Schmidt. Then it's Silf and Davis alongside each other. That's going to be an interesting one. And Rook and O'Reilly as well, lining up together. That should be another fantastic grid spot for them two there. In terms of then the other drivers on the grid, Gillies is your pole sitter, I suppose, in the gold category, or the reverse grid pole sitter in the gold category, from Rob Smith, with then Rob Ramsell. Stardog from Manavola. Jimenez in the bearded racing Ford Mustang lines up alongside him, with Messino behind. DeCourt from Castro. Cardno from Butcher, with then Watkowiak, and then Langley, Cairns, Hibbs, Harris in your championship leader of Vitas at the back of the pack. Copse Corner, Kelly famously said that you can't overtake at Copse Corner in 2021. So. We know different. Absolutely. These guys know different. We have major Turn 1 dramas last week at Imola in the reverse grid race. Copse Corners could also provide to be just as tricky.
It could do. It's very, very fast, easy to run wide, although there is a bit of a runoff on the left-hand side, so a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card can be used on the left-hand side. We'll see what happens. I mean, turn one into the sprint, these guys have only got 15 minutes to make positions. You've got to get on with it. So it is always a little bit hectic into turn one, but not quite as bad as Imola last week.
Yeah, not quite as bad as Imola last week, obviously Imola being the chicane. And, it's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on what can happen throughout this race, so for sure. Who are you going for the race win, Kelly?
Oh, there's a good question. Good question. Overtaker, I think, when he's out front. Who's that slowed down? Who's that slowed down and come to a stop? That was Clouden. I don't know why he's pulling back a little bit. Overtaker for me. I think he'll be the man. Yeah, the man to win this one. I'm
going to look at Skunky. I think P2. Yep, I think Skunky had some good pace in that free practice session. I think he could be the driver to maybe do a bit.
Of course, we're coming across what is the now start-finish straight line for the GP, but we start here. We start on the old start finish straight, and the old pit garage is on the opposite side of the track, almost polar opposite side of the track. So if some of you are looking at it and thinking that's the pit building, yes it is, but as I said, the GT3s start from the is turn 1.
It is indeed, and obviously on the, like Kelly said, the national pit straight, and plenty of overtaking opportunities around Silverstone. You got obviously Cook's Corner. You can have a look. You can have a look into Stowe Club, into Abbey, and then you've got the Wellington straight down into Brooklands and Luffield, where you can have a look as well. So, going to be an interesting one to see where drivers choose to pick. This overtaker running his brand new Balkan Sim Hub livery of the yellow and black. So interesting one to see what he can do. His car stands out a bit more now instead of that matte grey that it was. His car stands out a bit more now. But I'm interested to see this one get underway. They're coming around the final corner. Tell you what, McGowan could be a shout P4 at the moment. He could be one to keep our eyes on.
Clouden in 6 is a shout with his pace.
Yeah. Let's see what he can do. You said he got up there in the timetables. Let's just have a quick look.
He was leading. Yeah, he was fastest in practice.
He was indeed. Yeah, where was he? What was it by? It was by just a couple of hundredths. From Dan. But Dan down in 8/14th. He's probably not going to look to win this race. He just wants to score as many points as possible. I say he's probably not going to look to win it. Every racing driver will look to win every race.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're about to go green here. But knowing Dan, knowing Ben, knowing O'Reilly, they're going to look to just try and take points off each other and score as many as they can. Either way, we are green and go for round 9 of the season. It's a decent start from Overtaker. Bolton's got the best of the front three as he comes up the inside of Skunky at Cop's corner straight away, immediately showing what he can do. Just going to drop down the field a little bit. This on board with Mike Matthews. He stays out in front as well. Dan in the thick of things, side by side with him, with his teammate of Ben on the inside. A little wiggle from one of the McLarens further forward. That's the BMW with Gillies off in the background.
He was avoiding.
Everybody nice and clean though at the moment. Sorry, Kelly.
Gillies was avoiding the back of Kieran O'Reilly. I think he come up a little bit quick in his view, and he just took avoiding action. That's why he went off. So he avoided an accident there. So not really his fault. Well, it was his fault, but you know what I mean. Yeah, he took avoiding action instead of causing an incident. We're on board with Overtaker, though. Bolton got the jump on Skunky and now looks to try and put pressure on Overtaker. A bit further back, though, Matt Wright's being swamped. That's an incident. That is Williams, I believe, who got tapped by Mike Matthews. There was already an incident before that. Williams and McGowan had made contact. Jamal Clouden's now up into P number 4, and Matt Wright follows him through in 5th. So already some dramas on the opening lap of this race, and just behind, Rosowski gets past Mike Matthews. Schmidt has a look on the inside of Mike in towards Abbey, and contact from Schmidt and Mike Matthews. Round goes Mike. Yeah. Dan has to cut the corner in avoidance. Absolutely, Dan had to get out of that. I didn't see the start of it, but he had to get out of that. That's dropped him down, hasn't it?
I think he's only lost out to Ben and O'Reilly.
Oh yeah,
from what I can see. So he's at the back of the gold runners, who's not had a moment. But McGowan only dropped down to 14th. Not bad for him. Rob Ramsell currently in 2nd in the gold championship at the moment. In the gold race at the moment. Smith leading that one.
Front,
as McGowan's coming under pressure from Rob Ramsell now in towards Brooklands. There you go. Ramsell right up the inside. You can kind of outbrake yourself a little bit up the inside at Brooklands, because then it'll help you on that inside line for Luffield, won't it?
You can do, yes. There's kind of multiple lines through these sections as Dan dives to the pits. He's first one. He's not first one. Matt Wright's first one.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised Dan's gone into the pits there. He's had to avoid them cars, get them tyres cooled down, if whatever the temperature they may have got up to on that runoff area, as we're seeing this of Manavola and De Court going at it through the circuit now. I think Manavola has changed his livery once again, which is brilliant for us. Not really, because for us commentators, we like to see who can stay where. But Manavola gets ahead of the court either way. Butch is on the back of these guys as well. Vitas is up to 24th, and we've got Matt Wright, Dan Davis, McGowan, Cardno, Jimenez, Langley, Williams, Cairns, and Kowiak all into the pit lane. Mike Matthews now on the back of Gillies, coming down the Hanger Straight.
Trying to give themselves some clean air, but they might end up with a little battle of their own, these guys. So Kieran O'Reilly not going forward, nor is Ben Rook, not really on the scale of things, but Overtaker out in front. After a lap and a bit, he's pulling himself a little bit of a gap now over Bolton in 2nd place.
Indeed he is, and we've got Skunky who's just putting pressure on Bolton at the minute, Kelly.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've just jumped over to Skunky. He is putting a lot of pressure on Bolton as they come through the village section. I say it every time. I got mugged here by Bryn in a race. Didn't even see him coming. The next thing I know, he was past. So you leave that door open in that slow left-hander, you can be mugged really easily.
You can indeed. Cloudon's right on the back of Skunky as well, so an interesting race here. They've dropped Rosalski, Sylph behind them defending from Comar, and then you've got this trio of Schmidt, O'Reilly and Ben Rook. Ben Rook looking up the inside of Schmidt, O'Reilly looking up the inside of Ben. Ben taps the rear of Schmidt round. Schmidt's in a slide. Ben and O'Reilly still go side by side through the corner. Ben slides the inside for Luffield. O'Reilly's got to take the longer way around. Ben should get that one done. O'Reilly hangs it on in there though, just fractionally alongside still, and O'Reilly gets the momentum through Woodcote, still side by side as they come down to Copse Corner. Ben and O'Reilly, the championship protagonists, going at it up the inside. Ben manages to hold on now through Copse.
Funny that, they say you can't go side by side through there. They managed it. As they come into the Maggots and Beckett section, so that's Ben Rook who got out of that one. He survived. Schmidt didn't lose too many places considering he was tapped round, so he's still on the back of these two and dragging them back in again, and that gives Comar a bit of relief from Ben Rook as Ben Rook regroups. He's on the back of Sylph and not giving him too much pressure, and the front few of the front three have checked out now by 3 seconds.
Just wondered where Jamal had gone. He's gone into the pit lane, so Jamal has boxed to try and get the undercut over these drivers. So where's Dan Davis coming through Woodcote now? Jamal is off the limiter, and has he lost out to the lead pit runner of Matt Wright? This will be very close on the exit, but no, Jamal stays well clear, so Jamal will be the net pit leader in this race. Again, for viewers who's just joining the stream, we do apologise. We are going to reset the stream and go to a different one in the mid-session break. We do apologise for these technical difficulties that we have been suffering with since last night. In fact, we had audio problems apparently on Tuesday night as well when you and Dan was in the comms box. Jamal weaving down the hanger straight to get them tyres warm, and the front three all within a second of each other. Rosowski, fastest man on the circuit, but can't make any inroads.
I think sound problems was probably some, without boring everyone to tears about it. So quite a lot of the field opting to pit nice and early, aren't they? I say nice and early. We're a third way through the race.
We are a third of the way through the race.
Long lap.
It is a very long lap. Yeah, you don't get many laps in this sprint race, as that is Williams going past that of Hibbs up into 27th at the moment. Keynes and Butcher looking on the back. There's Manavola and Watkowiak well down the order in last place. Ben Rook is into the pits now. That is possibly for the undercut over the cars in front. And your net gold leader at the moment is that of Rob Ramsell. Skunky now does the fastest lap of the race. So where will Ben Rook and Michael Harris come out in regards to Cloudon? Well, Cloudon's got Matt Wright within 0.3 of a second at the moment.
He's dragged him in, you know.
Matt Wright's flying. He's looked quick in practice this week, Kelly, to be fair.
Right. He's dragged Cloudon in. I say Cloudon was looking handy in the practice session, but now Matt Wright has dragged him in as Cloudon goes very, very deep into that. I want to say club Luffield. One of those. Yeah. What's the other one? The one after Luffield. Brooklands. That a very famous hurry up and wait corner. You sit on the apex forever, waiting for the moment to get the power down. But certainly Matt Wright seems to have that car underneath him a lot better as they go through Copse. Although saying that, Matt Wright runs wide. Is there a track limit on that one out there?
Possibly so, yeah. You can just go over it a little bit too much on the curb. But either way, they've both jumped Ben Rook. Ben Rook's just come out the pits ahead of his teammate Dan Davis. So the undercut for Dan on Ben did not work. So Ben stays in front. Harris has come out just behind the Ferrari, the Quantum Ferrari of Langley then. So he's come down in 25th position. Is now Harris in this race. But Jamal is still your net leader in this one. Hopefully let us know in the chat if the sound you can still hear is and at least know what is happening, even if the visuals aren't that good that you can see it. Skunky putting pressure on Bolton then as we enter the halfway stage of this race. Skunky is really under the rear wing of Bolton, coming on the exit of Luffield now. He's looking to try and make a move, and I think Bolton, yes he has, he's dived to the pit lane.
Yes, indeed, he's in, so that diffuses that one. Overtaker still out in front, 1.7 seconds out in front now. Closest, but there isn't a hugely close battle on track that I can see. Williams is on the back of Harris and who's on the back of Jimenez, and that's a quite close battle right at the back of the, well, I say right at the back, 27, 20, 25th, 26th, 27. They're in very close company. Hibb's not a million miles away from that as well, as Williams has a look round the outside as they come into the village complex, and Harris covers off the inside. That's the way to do it. Don't let yourself get mugged there. The problem is that then compromises you all the way down the Wellington Straight, is it? I want to say down the Wellington Straight. You get compromised on power all the way down here as you come down and break into Luffield. Strange braking. It's a fast in and late apex. Try to keep the car tucked in so you can get across the circuit for the last one.
Luffield.
Remind me again. Luffield. What's the one after?
Woodcut.
Woodcut is the hurry up and wait corner. So yeah, the entry into Luffield compromises Woodcut on the way out or the way in. So there's multiple lines through that one as they come round again through Coppice and back towards Marcus and Beckett's for another lap.
Indeed they do. And while you were saying
who's
that,
that? Somebody getting touched. Sorry, mate. Somebody getting touched as they go through. I can't see who that was, but someone's shot out the side. They're going to rejoin. Oh, that's a rejoin. Who was that?
I think that may have been Langley I was looking at in the background there, because I was just saying, well, just watching while you was looking at, Jamal Clouden did jump ahead of Bolton, and Bolton's fell just in front of Ben Rook. Dan has been side by side with O'Reilly since leaving Maggots and Beckett's. He's got the inside line into the club chicane now. Dan up the inside. Bit of contact between the two of them. Dan gets the move done. Nothing more than a little tap there, a little kiss between the pair, and Dan is through on Kieran O'Reilly in this race at the moment. And so Jamal Clouden, that undercut, that early pit stop for him has put him net podium at the moment, because Bolton was running second place. Overtaker's 1.6 clear of Skunky now. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. Can Jamal grab a sprint race win here tonight? Mike Matthews putting pressure on the back of Vitas, and Mike trying to recover after a spin at Abbey earlier on in the race. We went then. I'm sure it looked like it was Langley off earlier, because it looked like the Quantum Ferrari.
It was Langley. I looked at it and it was Langley. He made a very fast rejoin, and I don't know if some of the guys will be a little bit disappointed about that or annoyed about it. He came back onto the track very, very quickly. So, but we'll see if anyone has the ump about that. Matt Wright in a good position as well. If Clouden's staring down the barrel of a win, then Matt Wright is right there with him.
Yeah, it could be on the podium as well. And what a fight, just looking at the fight behind Dan Davis, O'Reilly, Silf and McGowan, all within close proximity of each other. Bit of a big gap further back than Tim. De Courts gaining on the back of that of Rob Smith. Castro has got Michael Harris for company there. Williams trying to work his way through the field. But some good racing at the moment. Stardog has came out the pit lane right into this De Court and Harris fight at the moment. And Harris nearly into the back of him as Stardog left the pit lane. And Williams trying to sneak up the inside. Then one around the outside. Now into Maggots they go. Can he get this move done? No, the Mustang will have to go the long way round. He taps the back of Stardog into a slide. And Stardog's going to lose out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. 6 places now after that bit of contact there.
Kieran O'Reilly close on Dan as they come down into the Vale chicane. They both had a scruffy run down to the onto the Wellington Straight. O'Reilly couldn't do anything about that Lexus power, but it puts them very close again. Ben Rook and Co have checked out in front of these two, but this is game on between O'Reilly and Davis.
Yeah, it is game on between O'Reilly and Davis indeed, and this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on as we go through the race here at SimPlay Motorsport. Skunky's now into the pit lane, so where is Jamal? He's just coming through the loop and Aintree now towards Brooklands he heads. So this is going to be an interesting one to see what Jamal can do here, whether he can get that jump on Skunky. We'll stay on board with Jamal for a moment. Rosowski, Ramsell and Mike Matthews into the pit lane as well. Ramsell pitted from the lead of Gold. Again, we apologise for the disruptions on stream. We are going to try and sort this in the mid-session break. Maybe into qualifying. We'll try and get as much of qualifying as we can. But Overtaker at the moment leads this race. Skunky hasn't yet gone green. Out of Luffield comes Jamal Clouden now through Woodcut. Skunky goes green now. Watch for that P to disappear. That's the indication he's off the limiter. Jamal Clouden, though, is he going to pass Skunky in the pits? Well, there's Rosowski leaving the pits. Has Rosowski done the jump? Rosowski's jumped Skunky in the pit lane, and Jamal's ahead of Rosowski, so a heck of a stop for... and Rob Ramsell! from leading in gold has got himself a drive-through penalty, but Jamal Clouden, net leader of the pit runners at the moment. Where will this put him in terms of overtaker then?
Absolutely, and further back, Dan, my actual son, fighting with the one I'm trying to adopt of Kieran O'Reilly. In front of that, we've got Ben Rook and Bolton going side by side down to the bottom. Sorry?
Skunky, he's gone side by side with Skunky. Yeah.
Skunky, oh yeah, the app hasn't updated on the timing, but they're going side by side all the way down through that straight and into the Vale chicane now. And who's going to prevail? Ben's got the inside, Skunky on the outside, and Ben's looking to go all the way around the outside. He could cut back a bit like Lewis Hamilton did a couple of years ago on somebody who was fighting, and but he doesn't get it done. Skunky stays in front. Kieran O'Reilly still on the back. Leader is on the last lap. Remind me after the break, we get it sorted. I've got a couple of interesting little stories, little ditties for you a bit later on, one being Kieran O'Reilly.
No worries.
Yeah, remind me a bit later on. Oh, who's that? Silth, where did you come from? Cheeky move from Silth there on his teammate into the village. And who else is that in that? Is that McGowan also getting...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, McGowan. I was sitting on board with Kieran O'Reilly, minding my own business. All of a sudden, Silth just mugged him down the inside into village and has got the job done.
Well, we're on the last lap of the race. Overtaker's gone green as that Clouden's coming through Luffield here. So this could be the win for Overtaker. Can Jamal Clouden get onto the back of him? Rosowski gets into a big slide coming on the exit of Luffield. This could put Rosowski under pressure from Matt Wright. Looking through Woodcote. Overtaker's off the limit. Jamal's only just crossed the start-finish line now. So Jamal will be behind Overtaker. Second place though on the road at the moment. Overtaker leads. He's got a heck of a gap. Back to Jamal Clouden. Matt Wright fighting Rosowski for a podium, and Rob, who was leading 28 seconds, 28, car 28, that's Mazzino with a stop-go 30. So that'll be his race ruined, because that'll be a big penalty. He's not going to have time to sort that one. But Matt Wright fighting for a podium here in the Platinum category at the end of this sprint race. And Overtaker looks like he's going to sail off into the distance and win this one.
Yeah, I think he's got this under control, barring all the huffing and puffing towards the end.
Rob Ramsell. He's done his drive-through penalty and he's got a stop-go 30. So for all that drama, he's now got himself a bigger penalty coming his way.
Oh, he needs to pull over and get himself another. Was it Rob Rounder who was drinking cheap cider? Yeah, drinking cheap cider. So he needs to get himself another cheap cider and reset for the feature race.
Skunky's up the inside. Sorry, Kelly, coming through the exit to club. He's got the move done on Bolton. So Skunky is ahead of Bolton then in towards Abbey. There you go. We'll go back to Overtaker in a moment, but Skunky moves up to P5. Rook with the fastest lap of the race is well clear of Dan and O'Reilly and Silth for this championship. So Ben looking good at the moment. And this queue actually behind Bolton is that of Ben Rook, Comar, Schmidt, Davis, Silth, who's going up the inside of Dan through the loop in towards Aintree now. That's where he was on about Bryn surprising you the other season. That Lexus good in a straight line. Dan's off the track.
Oh, he's off.
He's into the side of O'Reilly. And they're both out of this. Oh, they're both out of a fight for the top 10. We'll go back to Overtaker, though, who is about to win his first race of the season. And for Overtaker, the joys of starting on a reverse grid pole comes towards him, because he will take the first win of the serve tonight. Jamal Clouden back on the podium, Pete. From Bolton, Ben Rook fastest lap in 7th, from Comar and Schmidt, Silf in 10th, McGowan 11th. Now we await for what should be Cardano to take the bronze win and 12th place. O'Reilly holds on for 13th, Rob Smith 2nd place in gold and 14th place. Dan down in 15th, to Court 16th, then Langley, Vitas, Harris, Mazzino 20th on the road, Mike Matthews 21st, Williams, Manavola, Castro, Cairns, Jimenez, Hibbs, Stardog, Butcher, Gillies. And we've still got Ramsell and what Kowiak to cross the line. And Rob's in to do his stop-go. It won't count. It will be then that time penalty at the end. And there we go. We can see the final classifications. Rob Ramsell last in this race. And Messino there, second from last with a 60-second time penalty. But Dan and O'Reilly. Dan went wide, lost it on the grass and span into O'Reilly.
Silth got down the inside of Dan as they went onto the Wellington straight. Dan went out wide, got himself a little bit out on the dirty stuff, and then started to lose it and collected O'Reilly on the way. I don't think it was, I think it was Dan's mistake that then collected O'Reilly on the way in there. So, unfortunate for those